Okay.
And can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What you were the chief of the fire department, right?
Right. I was a assistant deputy chief in the fire department in San Francisco. I took care. I was also the fire marshal, which means I took care of all the building permits, all the investigations in San Francisco. I was in charge of arson. So whenever we had a big fire and people died or we lost a lot of money, then I would lead an investigation to find out what happened to that, how the fire started. I spent 33 years with the San Francisco Fire Department, starting as one of the first Asian firefighters that came in our department. And then I worked my way up from, firefighter to engineer to lieutenant, captain, battalion chief, and then assistant deputy chief.
Wow. Okay.
I'm the only fire marshal in the history of San Francisco to be Asian. Wow. Still stands true today.
How many years?
For what? The fire department?
I'm working. Yeah.
33 years.
33 years. And when did you retire?
Oh, I retired quite a bit ago, 2006, 7.
2006. Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, so I'm happy.
You've been retired 15 years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So after you retire, I know you're helping the community a lot. You're helping especially in the Chinese community, helping them, donating stuff to them, and with a lot of different things. Can you tell us what are you doing right now?
What I'm doing now, I joined the Rotary Club in San Francisco, which was the first Rotary Club in San Francisco that was based in Chinatown. And after I joined, a couple of years, I became the president of the club. And then I stepped down after my term, and then 4 years later, they asked me to come back as president. So I did. I just finished another term as president of the club. And our club is based in, we use different restaurants in Chinatown to help, promote business, to have our meetings. And so, but our club is focused on helping the Chinese community. We do a lot of reading programs for newcomers, the kids. We do a lot of food pantry distributions for all the seniors in Chinatown. And about a few years ago, we installed over 100 smoke detectors in the SROs in Chinatown. And the SROs, I don't know if you're familiar with, but they're single residential occupancy buildings where they're very small rooms that house a family of 4 to 5. And they're all over Chinatown now. So that, that's the only way most of the people who can live in Chinatown or afford to is live in these small rooms. And when I went there one time, I saw that all the smoke detectors were broken. And we called the landlord and they won't do anything about it. So we volunteered to get these smoke detectors and install new smoke detectors for everybody. And so that's one of the programs. And then we also try to help the seniors if they have problems in Chinatown as far as getting help from government. And the latest thing I'm sure you're aware of is that there's a lot of Asian hate going on and a lot of Asian seniors getting robbed in Chinatown. So what we've done, we raised some money to buy these. Can you see these? Alarm.
Yeah. Yes.
What they are, it's just a keychain. And when you have it on your purse or on your belt loop, and when you pull it, it makes a very loud noise. Let me see if it works here. Hear that?
Yes.
So we pass these out to about 500 seniors right now. And we tell the seniors that as they're walking through Chinatown, they feel threatened, they get pulled at. And about 2 months ago, I had a meeting with the San Francisco Police Department and the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. And I I told them about these alarms and said that if you hear that alarm here in the area, then somebody's in trouble. And I said, this will not defend them as much as, people say, well, give them pepper spray. I said, pepper spray is too hard for them to use and they might get hurt. So I said, this is an easier way. This way they can pull it. Even if they get knocked down, they can pull it and then somebody will look towards that direction and be able to help them. And a lot of times when you have a loud noise like that, when people's trying to attack you, they run away because they know this is going to attract attention. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give out some more alarms this weekend over at Gum Moon, and then we're going to give some over at a Presbyterian church. So it's another about 400 alarms we're going to pass out. And I've even reached out to the Japanese community, and we're going to give another 300 out in the Japanese community.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so we're going to continue this, or try to, as long as we can, until we can get as many alarms out to the seniors in the city as we can. And also started a program with off-duty firefighters who volunteered to help me walk the streets of Chinatown to escort seniors from grocery stores back home, or to escort them from the bank to back home. So they don't, because a lot of times people watch these seniors go to the bank and they follow them and they attack them just before they get home. So we thought this might help. We don't know if it's slowed it down, but we're trying, doing our part. So we're gonna try to keep these off-duty firefighters interested, so that they want to support the community too, because they're all Asians, and they want to do their little bit to help too. So,
have you came across seeing anybody really get hurt?
No, see, that's maybe that's a good thing, because we haven't, as we're walking through Chinatown, we haven't seen anybody get hurt. But the problem with that is that it's so sporadic. I think a lot of times these people who are watching the seniors know that there's groups of people walking and helping them, so they won't try to attack anybody when there's young people walking around behind them or in front of them.
So all this time you involved helping these senior people, and did you find you have your group find out what type of people, or is there certain people or the same group of people are attacking the senior or the old people in Chinatown?
Yeah, well, we found, and that the majority of the people who are doing the attacking happen to be African Americans. And I mentioned to you last time, I had a conversation with the Department of Justice.
All of them, like 100% of them?
I wouldn't say 95%, 99%. Mm-hmm. And they, unfortunately, they're the group of people that be it that they're young, teenage hoodlums.
So most of them are young African American.
Yes. And they take advantage. I mean, they're doing it in broad daylight now, which is what scares me. They don't sneak around. They'll run up to a busy part in Chinatown, say in Oakland, and grab purses from people or knock them down and grab their belongings. So they aren't afraid anymore. And I think part of that is to blame is our justice system. Unfortunately, our district attorney is not proactive. He doesn't want to prosecute anybody. So if I were a criminal, I would say, I'll go to San Francisco, because the worst I can get is 1 day in jail and I'll be out tomorrow.
Exactly.
So I've been working with Leanna Louie, another lady in Chinatown, who's been spearheading this recall for our district attorney. And the group that I'm working with now is called Asians United. They're a small group of young Asians, which I'm happy to see, who are tech people, and they helped start this alarm program. And we just got a grant from another group for $25,000. So we're going to direct all that money towards education and alarms and any other programs we can get. And I'm trying to reach out to some of the African American communities through their leadership and talk to them directly and ask them, what is it that we can do to stop this type of attacks?
Besides the alarm and besides the fire alarm, your program. So this program is done by Rotary Club?
Yes, right.
I see.
And it's a nonprofit volunteer organization.
Okay.
We also do international programs. The biggest thing about Rotary is they're trying to eradicate polio worldwide. And they donate a lot of money, millions of dollars, to send medicines out to other countries. And actually, we've done a pretty good job because now there's only less than 1% of the world that still has polio. So we partner with who's a Microsoft owner. I forgot his name already. Anyway,
Bill Gates.
Yeah, he matches dollar for dollar. If we raise $1 billion, he'll put $1 million in. And so we've been able to really make this program work and eradicating polio. And a couple of years ago, we went over to India to actually administer the polio drops to the kids. And we went to China one year to help the orphanages there because I saw some pictures there and they are so desperate for help because there's so many orphans in China. So we started a program where we actually donate resources to them, like books and toys and things like that. And we went over and actually assembled like 200-300 tricycles for them. We had it shipped over and then we put it together, and they were able to distribute it all to orphanages out there. And this year I'm going to Africa to put a water filtration system in for the African villages there.
Where in Africa?
Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah.
How long are you going to stay?
About 2.5 weeks. 2.5
weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Especially with all the COVIDs going on and all that you have.
I know. Yeah. I'm a little bit worried, but I'm going to try to take all the precautions I can. The good thing is that we're not going to be in the city center. We're going to be out in the villages. So we're spread apart. And definitely I'll bring masks. And, as talked about test kits, I'll make sure I test myself if I can. Not that it's any good.
How many people are going?
Total of 25.
25 people. Yeah. Wow. And what are your activities? What are you have to seeing the people day by day? Or
we're gonna go on the massage village there, and we've already had the company go out there and drill the holes, the wells for the water. And our job is we shipped out our filtration system already, and our job is to put the filtration system into the well. And we bring all the 5-gallon bottles, and they fill these bottles, and we give the women of the village a job that this is your job now. So you own this water, so you can fill the bottles and sell to all the villages around you. Wow. And then the money comes back and helps to maintain the system, and it gives you something to do too. Instead of, we see pictures of them carrying 5-gallon pails of water in their head, walking 5 miles back with the water. That's not clean either.
Right.
This will help, get rid of some of the illnesses over there.
It sure will save a lot of lives.
It will. And we did that in Guatemala last year, or the year before that, just before COVID hit. And we did it in a hospital, and it saved a lot of kids' lives, because these kids, the infants and the children were getting impacted the most because they didn't have clean water to wash their hands, or wash surgical tools or medical equipment. So they got infected almost immediately, and they didn't have the medicine, so they unfortunately usually died. Mm-hmm. So we got a letter back from their doctor, and they said it's doing much, much better now.
How many filtration system are you going to build or donate?
we're going to donate 2 for Uganda this time, and then we're going to go back, hopefully in the following year or 2, and put 2 more in Sudan. So each of these systems costs $30,000 just for the system.
I see.
Plus whatever it costs to dig the holes.
Yeah, tremendous amount for 25 people crew to get there and to install all these, to plan all this for them. While you're doing such a great for a great cause, I really admire what you've done for the people.
Like I told you before, I just feel that it gives me an opportunity to give back a little bit. You know, I don't have a whole bunch of money, but I can give back my time.
Yes, sir.
Which costs more than money sometimes. You know, money you can make back. Time, it's gone. It's gone.
Especially in, you know, the people in Chinatown, we see, you know, I was from Chinatown. At first we were going to Chinatown to try to find a job, and we were benefit from Chinatown, but most of the people forgetting Chinatown. Once they being successful, they can, you know, move out of the Chinatown. They don't want to go back there, and they don't care about what's going on inside. And I still have some people, I still have some friends living in Chinatown, and they were like unlicensed dentists. So all they do is, you know, fixing teeth for people for $20.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, for $20. So if you have cavities, if you go to a dentist, it will easily cost you $500, right? Or plus. But they you know, charge you $20 to fix your cavities, and charge you maybe $200 for crown. And
wow.
Yeah, so usually you can go for $2,000, $3,000.
Yes.
But they do that all day long, and they trying to do that just to maybe help, you know, other people. Yeah. And you know, silent hero like you. And I walk into the building, like maybe 70 square feet, less than 100 square feet, small space, living 4 people in there. And the hallway is filled with all the people, and 1 bathroom for maybe 20 units. And you know, like I said, if fire going on, we don't, you know, you don't know what to expect for these people. Right. Yeah, the fire alarm and all that is a great idea. I really admire what you've done for the people.
Well, I'm hoping to do more in the future. We're trying to do this program now called Revitalize Chinatown. And what we're doing is to talk to different people to see if they would be willing to open a business in Chinatown. You know, new startups, new restaurants. And, you know, we met with all the big, building owners. You know, a lot of these people own buildings, they're legacy owners. You know, their parents started a business, they bought the building, and they passed on. Now it's their building, but they're still charging $30,000 a month for one storefront, you know, the building. So we're trying to work with them, say, maybe you can cut the rent down so you can bring the people back. I said, you know, most people can't afford to pay $30,000 rent every month selling cookies. You know, right. Take them how many bags of cookies just to make the rent, you know? So, but we're working on it. So it's a slow process. And I hope that, you know, maybe in time, we're going to get a chance to convince them to change their ways a little bit. I mean, if they're truly interested in revitalizing Chinatown, they'll be willing to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, anything else you think you can share with us?
Well, I think, you know, people like yourself, for instance, you've obviously done well enough to be here. You know, you seem like you're a very motivated person. The people like you that have the ability to reach out to a lot of people through your newscasts or whatever, you know, you can get the word out there and say, hey, you know, help the people in Chinatown, bring Chinatown back. or if you have a way to assist the seniors and the youth of Chinatown, then do that. That's our future. Yes. The seniors built Chinatown, and it's up to us to maintain the interest from our youth to keep that going. Otherwise, as soon as the seniors pass away, and we don't get the interest back from the young people, Chinatown is going to die.
Exactly. So if we try to make a donation to your Rotary Club, is that okay? They can.
That'd be wonderful. Yeah, I mean, we have a Rotary site. It's you can just make it out to the Rotary Foundation, which is tax deductible.
Nice. I will attach onto here for the link to people to click onto and let the people know to try to make a donation to you guys. Especially you guys have done so much for our Asian and Chinese community. So is there anything else you think you can add?
Just to let you know, it seems kind of odd, but Kimochi is a Japanese senior organization in Japantown, and they asked me to join that after I retired too, so I joined that one too.
Oh, okay.
And they elected me president for 7 years. And I thought that was odd because here was a Chinese guy in a Japanese organization, and how the Japanese.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
my parents would not have liked it, because, they had a very bad, experience with the Japanese. And some people still carry that forward.
They still carry that. War is a war, and country is a country. But when it comes to human being, we wanted to help each other instead of hurting each other.
Well, that's the only way we could rebuild and build a better place for everybody.
I personally, I'm learning Japanese. I take Japanese class, and I against also the war side of Japanese culture about having war onto other countries and done so much damage. But right now we're facing is what the people are wanting for their lives. So I think all the Asians, especially all the Asian people, they have to tie together. They have to help each other.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, that's I look at us as a group of, say, not different ethnicities, but we're Asian. We're all Asians, in our group. Be it Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipino, or